The Hybrid Origins expansion is by far the most interesting expansion data pack that I've ever covered on this channel, because unlike most of them, which are really there to aim to add more additional origins to the collection, this one instead is going to give you more customizations to the core 9 origins, by adding an extra layer that allows you to have, let's say, some evolution/hybrids between multiple different origins. For example, you'll be able to actually combine the Avian core origin with the addition of the winged layer, which just adds in elytra wings but weaker armor and other things related towards that wing ability on its own. There are 18 different hybrids to pick from, basically 2 per main origin, to get kind of split off some of the core abilities of each origin into their own little centered thing. For example, the Avian gets split off into the feathered and the avid category. The feathered is centered around falling slowly, pretty much just giving you floaty falling, but the avid is more focused in on you're far faster in air. You also are a vegetarian, basically allowing you to add those little attributes to other origins that you like to use. For example, if you want to add the slow falling to your Elytrian origin, you can add that with this hybrid selection. It's effectively like taking 2 origins and crushing them together, but taking like the good things from one of the origins, or taking a certain subsect of powers from one of the origins in order to just improve and enhance your experience with the Origins mod. Honestly, if you're willing to go download it, which you can find it in the Origins Discord server, this is from the user 𝓵𝓷𝓵𝓼, I would honestly recommend downloading and just having it as an additional thing. You can always just be hybridless and not have the additional thing there. You can completely ignore it entirely, but at the same time, again, it adds in a bunch of bonuses which are pretty neat. Now, I'm not going to give you an in-depth explanation on every single ability that comes with these hybrid origins, mainly because if I did that, we'd be here all day. There are over 30 images to go through, and like 15 of them tend to take 10 minutes. If you really want to know the full details of every single ability, check out the original mod showcase of the Origins mod, as all of them get explained pretty well there. But going through it, the Avian gets split off into 2 different hybridizations. You got the feathered and the avid. Again, as I said before, the feathered comes with feather weight, you fall gently to the ground of the feather, and fresh air, meaning you have to sleep high up in the air in order to be able to sleep. And avid comes with the like air modifiers, which makes you far faster with speed, especially when you're airborne. Tailwind, which just gives you a little bit quicker speed on foot, but you're also a vegetarian at the same time. The Arachnid gets split into 2 different things called the multi-legged and the viper. The multi-legged gives you that climbing ability, as well as the ability to craft cobwebs yourself, whilst the viper ability gives you the ability to put your enemies inside of cobwebs whenever you hit them, but also at the cost of being only able to eat meat, as well as you have 3 less hearts. The Elytrian ability gets split off into the winged and the light-footed ability. The winged gives you the elytras, but also forces you to wear lighter armor such as chainmail and a bit of an iron helmet. It also gives you brittle bones, which means you take more damage from flying as well as falling. Light-footed gives you that wind ability, the ability to propel yourself way up into the air every 30 seconds. It will also give you the claustrophobia thing, which means that if you're underneath a low surface for too long where there's a roof right above your head, you'll get weakness and slowness. But an additional ability that isn't exactly present in most of the main origins is acrobatics. You don't take fall damage anymore, which is a kind of a nice combo with this one, as it gives you that flying ability, but also makes it so you don't have to worry about taking fall damage from using that ability, but you don't have an elytra. The Shulk gets split into the Collector and the Armor. The Collector has your Hoarder ability, which gives you an additional 5 slots of inventory, but unlike the Skulker's normal one, you actually can't keep these items on death. You also require more food than normal because you exhaust far faster. The Armored will give you the Sturdy Skin ability, as well as the strong arms, meaning that you have natural protection and you can also break stone without needing a pickaxe, but you will also be given the ability to not use shields. The Feline origin, which I feel like this one will still be underutilized, will be split into the cat-like and soft paws. The cat-like gives you the ability to scare away creepers without them exploding, unless you hit them, but it also gives you that weak arm ability that makes it so you can't mine natural stone if there's more than 3 of them around, as well as the ability to jump higher when you're sprinting. Soft Paws gives you the ability to be immune to fall damage, as well as makes it so that you don't make any form of vibrations, meaning that other life forms such as mobs of all hostile types won't be able to detect you as easily. They still can if you get close enough though, so be aware. The Enderian gets split into the Pearled and the Ender. The Pearled gives you that teleportation ability that allows you to use an Ender Pearl at any time, which deals no damage towards you, but at the same time, you now are afraid of water and will take damage from that, as well as you can't see people who are wearing pumpkins. The Ender ability has the Slender Body ability, which gives you the ability to reach things from further away, but you're also scared of people wearing pumpkin heads, meaning you can't see them. That ability flies through both of the Enderian's splits. The Merling gets split into the Amphibious and the Aquatic. The Amphibious gives you the ability to hold your breath underwater far longer than normal, as well as your water speed is increased, whilst your walking speed is decreased, but you can still breathe on land, but you can't breathe indefinitely underwater. Your Aquatic gives you the indefinitely breathing underwater whilst removing your land breathing. You can also do all the usual things that the Merling can do underwater, where you can float, you can break things at normal speed, like you don't get affected by the water in any way whatsoever. The Blazeborn gets split into the Hot-Blooded and the Neverborn. The Hot-Blooded has the ability to be immune to fire-based damage. All form poison and hunger effects will be destroyed, they won't affect you ever. You'll also deal additional damage whenever you're on fire, but water will hurt you. The Neverborn gives you the fire immunity, Never Inhabitant, meaning you'll spawn in the Never, but also water pain. It's really ultimately not really too much to care about unless you want to have that Never spawn. This one will probably underutilized. Then you've got the Phantom Origin, which gets split into the Ethereal and the Charmeleon, the hybrids. The Ethereal has the Phantom form, which allows you to switch between human and phantom, allowing you to go through walls, but it will continue to, but you can only do it whilst you're saturated enough to sprint. Your skin's translucent, you can phase through walls, and whenever you're phantomized, your hunger will decrease far quicker than before, and you also have 3 less hearts. The Charmeleon, on the other hand, will still have that phantom form, will still have the translucent skin, but you're only invisible in this phantom form and you can't go through walls, and you still have 3 less hearts of the human. You will not have the hunger burning debuff though anymore because you can't go through walls. And that's basically the gist of it all. If you really want more of an explanation of all these abilities, as I said, I've covered all the origins in their own videos before with a big showcase of the entire mod, where each and every origin gets a far more in-depth explanation to in comparison what I'm doing here. One thing I do have to note about this though is that a lot of these hybrid things will probably be underutilized, as a lot of them do come with the worst quirks of some of those origins. Neverborn, for example, will probably be the least used one, even though Hot-Blooded is not immune to fire. I did say it was, but I'm wrong about that one. The Neverborn is only immune to fire, but you're forced to spawn in the Never and you hate water. Ultimately going to be one of those abilities that unless you desperately don't want to deal with fire, it's not going to get used. Overall, I just feel like it's a really cool additional thing to have on top of your basic origins. So I do recommend you go download from the Origins Discord server, but if you did enjoy this video, make sure to do me a solid by hitting the subscribe button down below. We're so close to 50,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to hit it before the end of the month. Either way, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Friday for a list video. Bye bye!